Alright guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about Square Enix's development teams and kind of explain how they work. I feel the need to do this because in the recent Kingdom Hearts video that I got out titled Kingdom Hearts Depression, within the comment section I noticed a lot of comments that were talking about, the development period of Kingdom Hearts 4, naturally, as well as how most people are convinced that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is most definitely going to be releasing first. But a lot of these comments kind of told me that a lot of people don't actually understand the process of Square Enix's games development and how their teams actually work. And that's totally fine. I wouldn't expect the regular Joe to understand this. It's only for Square Enix nerds like myself that pay attention to this kind of thing, that actually do have an understanding of the business process. On a surface level, of course, it's not like I'm an insider or a fly on the wall at Square Enix's headquarters. But most people are probably not aware about Square Enix's creative business units setup that they currently have for the company. So I feel like it's important to explain this because this is actually part of the reason why it is frustrating that there hasn't been anything on Kingdom Hearts 4 for such a long time. The impression that I got from that comment section was that a lot of people think that the games coming out of Square Enix are all coming from one giant massive team. It's at least apparent to me that a lot of people don't realize that Kingdom Hearts actually has a dedicated development team. And while I'm sure that this number is fluctuating all the time, it's assumed that the head count for this team is somewhere around the 300. This team is located in Square Enix's Osaka headquarters, with Square Enix having two other headquarters in Japan, which are considered to be the main headquarters of the company, located over in Tokyo, one in Shinjuku and one in Shibuya. These three headquarters in Japan are the primary development headquarters of the Square Enix company. However, there are multiple other offices located around the world in both Asia, in America. There's one in the UK, one in France, one in Germany, one in Canada. So Square Enix do have a lot of different base of operations, and a lot of these base of operations are responsible for different franchises of the company. Now, up until 2019, Square Enix's team organization was divided into what was known as business divisions, with a total of 11 different business divisions. This structuring took effect in 2013 and was present up until 2019, with yet another restructure taking place where multiple business divisions were divided into creative business units. So now the various Square Enix development teams are divided into 5 different creative business units. Creative Business Unit 1 is comprised of Business Division 1, 3, and 4. Business Division 1 has been responsible for major AAA Final Fantasy titles, but right now, and for a long time, they've been responsible for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This part of Creative Business Unit 1 is currently working on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. These guys are based over in Tokyo. In fact, a good portion of the team within Business Division 1, Tokyo team back in the day as they were known as, were the original developers of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. A lot of the same developers who had previously worked on the original Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10. After Tokyo team finished up work on Kingdom Hearts 2, the Kingdom Hearts reins were then passed to Square Enix's Osaka team, who would develop every other Kingdom Hearts game afterwards, with eventually taking on the full responsibility of the mainline entries. At this time, Tokyo team then shifted gears to start working on Final Fantasy Versus 13. That's right, Versus 13 was being developed by the original Kingdom Hearts team. So in a way, it does actually make sense that Versus 13 would be reincarnated in a sense, with some of its ideas finally being realized in Kingdom Hearts 4 and for the future. Business Division 3 is responsible for Kingdom Hearts, located in Osaka, and Business Division 4 have been responsible for Final Fantasy spin-offs that include both outsourcing as well as external companies. Creative Business Unit 2 is comprised of Business Division 6, 7, and 11. Business Division 6 is responsible for franchises like Dragon Quest and Nier. Business Division 7 have worked on Lord of Vermilion and the Gunslinger Stratos franchises, and Business Division 11 is Team Asano, responsible for games like the Bravely Default series or of course Octopath Traveler. As we know, in 2023, Luminos Productions were originally their own separate thing within the Square Enix ecosystem, but this part of Square Enix was shut down. A lot of the developers from Luminos Productions were reorganized throughout Creative Business Unit 2. Creative Business Unit 3 is comprised of mainly just Business Division 5, which solely focuses on Final Fantasy XIV. However, in recent years, these guys have also had other projects like Final Fantasy XVI and the recent Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. These guys actually have their own unique name known as Creative Studio 3 and have their own little unique logo that pops up whenever one of their games are being showcased. So it seems as if every so often Square Enix will say, alright, let's split the Final Fantasy XIV team in half, and we'll give the other half of the team a new project to work on. Creative Business Unit 4 is comprised of just Business Division 8, which is responsible for the Mana series, but from time to time they also work on ports and remasters. And the final Creative Business Unit here is number 5, comprised of Business Division 9 and 10. These guys in the past have worked on franchises like Schoolgirl Strikers, Grim Notes, Million Arthur, and Chaos Rings. These are mobile-related titles. So, each unit throughout Square Enix all play a different role, and are effectively, to a certain degree, individual teams, though there are multiple teams within each creative business unit. And from time to time, one part of a creative business unit will end up assisting another part of that same creative unit. So for example, right now, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is probably one of Square Enix's main priorities. This means that most resources and manpower would be handed over to this part, Business Division 1 of Creative Business Unit 1. When a project is complete, the priority then shifts to something else, and more resources, more manpower is given to that next priority. But I think this is what people aren't understanding is, within Square Enix's multiple teams, they are always working on something to do with that said franchise. What are the 3 big franchises of Square Enix? Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts literally has not only its own team, but its very own headquarters in Osaka, dedicated to working on content for that one specific franchise. There is always progress being made on Kingdom Hearts. It's not as if Kingdom Hearts just goes dead for a couple or a few years, where no one at Square Enix is working on the franchise and all manpower is given to primarily just Final Fantasy. No, Square Enix are always working on Kingdom Hearts. So while I totally get why people are saying, you know, don't think about Kingdom Hearts and don't worry about Kingdom Hearts until Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is out, it's kind of hard to accept that, as much as I do believe that it very much is a possibility, because it's at least speculated that development on Kingdom Hearts 4 has been ongoing since the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And if Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 were to truly release before Kingdom Hearts 4, this would mean that Square Enix has released the entire remake trilogy between the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 to the release of Kingdom Hearts 4. In my opinion, that is a massive mismanagement of their franchises. Now, it's absolutely a case where Final Fantasy VII Remake would be a quicker and more streamlined process to develop compared to something like Kingdom Hearts, because Square Enix can reuse a lot of assets that had already been created for the first and second game. Kingdom Hearts, on the other hand, is a totally different beast, requiring Osaka team to make totally new assets and, in some cases, totally new code from the ground up, as there are a lot of unique aspects in each Kingdom Hearts installment, primarily because of the Disney World system. But even considering that though, isn't it a little ridiculous that a game, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, that began full-scale development last year, can release first, even though there will be a mass reuse of assets, can release first before a game that has theoretically been in development coming up 6 years. For the people that do understand Square Enix's team structure, this is why it is all the more frustrating, because it's like, well, this team has been working on this game for so many years now. How is it that we're not at a point where we're learning or seeing more about the game? I don't have a single doubt in my mind that the Tokyo team, responsible for Final Fantasy VII Remake, absolutely have more manpower. But I still don't think that that is going to make up for the mass time difference of the development process between both games. Personally, I actually still think that Kingdom Hearts 4 will release before Part 3. There's definitely more communication going on about Part 3 than there is the Kingdom Hearts 4. Both Katase and Hamaguchi tend to provide an update on sort of the development process and kind of like what's going on, which is great, every sort of couple of months. Whereas Kingdom Hearts 4, it's just like tumbleweed, dust, dirt, wind, silence. The reason why I believe this is the case, though, is because Square Enix obviously have total control over Final Fantasy and what happens with Final Fantasy and the communication aspect of that franchise. Whereas it's not so black and white when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, with Disney being involved. I feel as if Square Enix have to be a lot more secretive of what's going on with Kingdom Hearts compared to Final Fantasy. And by the way, I think a lot of people need to realize that it is not confirmed that Part 3 is releasing in 2027. This is an internal goal of the teams, is they believe that they are able to get the game out by 2027. But it's very much tentative. If they were to, that would mean that Part 3 would be about a 3.5-year development period, which is insanely quick, by the way. Again, though, I suppose with the reuse of assets, it is feasible. But a lot of people are taking that 2027 comment from Hamaguchi as concrete. At this stage, I personally do feel like Part 3 will be a 2028 title, with Kingdom Hearts 4 being a 2027 title. This is just based on like my understanding of Square Enix's structure. A little bit of this is also copium as well, you know, as it goes. But if Part 3 were to truly release before Kingdom Hearts 4, I would genuinely have to question, like, what is the Kingdom Hearts team doing? How is it that one part of this creative business unit has managed to pump out an entire trilogy of AAA games, whereas the franchise, which acts as the third pillar of the company, has literally received basically nothing in that space of time? I'm pretty confident that we will end up receiving an update for actually both of these games in 2026, and I feel like it's going to be the year that will determine what is actually going to happen first within 2027 to 2028, looking at KH4 or Part 3. I think that next year is going to be quite an interesting year for Square Enix, as they will be slowly making progress towards the end of this reboot, 3-year reboot phase they're currently going through. 2027 is a big year for both of these franchises, though. Kingdom Hearts will be celebrating its 25th anniversary, and Final Fantasy VII will be celebrating its 30th. It's definitely expected that during that year, big things will be happening at both sides of the table. A lot of people are saying that, yeah, Part 3 to celebrate the 30th anniversary, it's gonna happen. Like, this is why they're aiming for 2027. But then you got the Kingdom Hearts fans being like, well, it's our 25th anniversary, like Kingdom Hearts 4, man. Our game got revealed first! Swear to God, I'm so totally gonna be Dean Norris happy, angry meme reaction if Part 3 is coming out first, because it's like, I can't wait for this game. Genuinely, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was so good, and I have confidence in, you know, Katase, Hamaguchi, the team, will make an even better product with Part 3. It's gonna be fucking slapping. Then I'm also like, I just want Kingdom Hearts. I just want Kingdom Hearts! Truly one of the most conflicting scenarios of my known existence. Like, Cloud, can you put that big-ass piece of concrete down for like 2 seconds and let that kid with the keys jingle-jangle them for like 5 minutes, please? Hopefully this has provided a little bit of education towards how Square Enix's teams work. I just need people to keep in mind that looking at Square Enix's franchises, there is always a team or a part of the company that's always chipping away at the very least on these multiple projects. It's just that some of these teams have a lot more resource and money backed behind them compared to others. There is certainly prioritization that happens throughout Square, and it's very obvious that the main priority goose here is Business Division 1 within Creative Business Unit 1. Let me know your thoughts and opinions though. Like, do you truly think that Part 3 is going to release before Kingdom Hearts 4? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Kingdom Hearts 4 or Part 3? Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slippity slap that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Big shout out to my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.